High Admiral Vexera stood at the observation deck of the Celestial Dominion, her crystalline skin refracting the starlight in a cascade of colors. The massive flagship of the Nexeri Empire's first contact fleet stretched nearly 3 kilometers in length, its bioorganic hull pulsing with quantum energy that lesser species often mistook for magic. Behind her, a holographic display showed detailed scans of the solar system they'd just entered, the home of a species that called themselves humans. Primitive, yet intriguing, she mused, studying the data streams flowing through the air around her. The Nexeri had ruled the galaxy's Carina arm for over 10,000 years, their mastery of quantum mechanics and bioorganic technology making them seemingly godlike to younger races. They had subjugated or uplifted hundreds of civilizations, all following the same pattern. Arrive, demonstrate power, accept submission, integrate resources. High Admiral, her second-in-command, Commander Zell, approached with characteristically fluid movements. Our preliminary scans of the third planet are complete. They've barely reached their moon. Their energy production relies on primitive fusion and fission, and their strongest weapons use basic kinetic and chemical principles. Vexera's bioluminescent patterns shifted to display her amusement. Another harvest world, then. Have they at least unified their planet? No, High Admiral. They remain divided into nation-states, though there appears to be a loose global cooperation framework. Typical of their development stage, Vexera responded, turning to face the blue-green planet growing larger in their view. Begin the standard contact protocol. Let's show them what true power looks like. The Celestial Dominion's hull began to pulse with increasing intensity, quantum fields manipulating light itself to create a display that would be visible from Earth's surface even in daylight. Similar effects rippled across the dozen support ships accompanying the flagship, their coordinated movements creating patterns that defied conventional physics. Deep within the United Earth Defense Command bunker beneath the Himalayas, General Sarah Chen studied the incoming sensor data with growing concern. The alien ships had appeared at the edge of their solar system just hours ago, crossing the vast distance to Earth orbit with impossible speed. But something about their approach bothered her. It was too theatrical, too focused on visual display rather than tactical positioning. "Ma'am," her aide interrupted her thoughts, "we're receiving a transmission. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, bypassing all encryption." The holographic display in the center of the command center flickered to life, revealing a being that appeared almost crystalline, its skin transparent and flowing with patterns of light. When it spoke, its voice seemed to resonate directly in their minds. "People of Earth, I am High Admiral Vexera of the Nexeri Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our domain. Your technology is primitive, your civilization fractured. We offer you advancement beyond your imagining, order beyond your capability, and protection beyond your strength. Submit, and you shall be elevated. Resist, and you shall be subjugated regardless." The transmission ended, leaving the command center in silence. General Chen's expression remained unchanged as she typed a series of commands into her secure terminal. "Initiate Protocol Omega," she ordered quietly, "and get me a direct line to the Security Council." "Yes, ma'am," her aide responded, quickly relaying the orders. "But shouldn't we respond to their transmission?" Chen's lips curved into a slight smile. "Oh, we will. But not in the way they're expecting. You see, there's something our visitors don't understand about humanity. We've been preparing for this moment for over a century, and we've learned one vital lesson from studying our own history. True power doesn't need to be flashy." In orbit, High Admiral Vexera waited for the expected response: panic, awe, or immediate submission. Instead, her sensors detected something unusual. Nothing. No increased communications, no military mobilization, no signs of fear or worship. Just silence. "Curious," she muttered, her crystalline features shifting in confusion. "Perhaps they're too primitive to even understand our message. Prepare the subjugation protocols. We'll give them one planetary rotation to respond before we demonstrate why the Nexeri Empire has never known defeat. Little did she know, deep beneath Earth's surface and hidden in bases throughout the solar system, humanity was already moving according to plans laid down generations ago. They had learned long ago that the best advantage was the one your enemy never saw coming. While the Nexeri fleet hung in Earth's orbit like a constellation of artificial stars, the real action was taking place far from their watchful eyes. Deep within the asteroid belt, hidden in the heart of Ceres, the massive doors of Hangar Complex Zeus slowly opened for the first time in 50 years. Admiral James Chen, son of General Sarah Chen, stood at the control center of Operation Titan, watching as centuries of preparation began to unfold. The cavernous facility stretched for kilometers inside the dwarf planet, filled with technology that would make the Nexeri's displays of power look like children's toys. "Status report," he commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Colonel Diana Patel, his chief of operations, responded without looking up from her holographic display. "All systems are green, sir. The quantum shielding has kept our activities completely hidden from the Nexeri sensors. Project Prometheus is ready for Phase 1. And our solar defense grid. Online but dormant, sir. 3,000 satellites masked as space debris, all equipped with our latest quantum disruption technology. The enemy still hasn't detected them." James allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had learned long ago that survival in a hostile universe required more than just technological advancement. It required patience, deception, and the wisdom to keep their true capabilities hidden until the perfect moment. In orbit, High Admiral Vexera was growing increasingly frustrated. 20 Earth hours had passed since their arrival, and the humans had shown no reaction to their presence. No diplomatic contact, no military response, not even an increase in global communications. "Commander Zyle," she called, her crystalline form pulsing with irritation, "begin the subjugation sequence. Target their largest military installations first. Let's see how they respond to a demonstration of real power." But before Zil could act, something changed. The quantum sensors of the Celestial Dominion detected a massive energy surge from within the asteroid belt. At first, Vexera dismissed it as a solar anomaly, but then her chief scientist's urgent voice cut through the command center. "High Admiral, we're detecting quantum signatures unlike anything we've ever encountered. They're more advanced than our own." Vexera's form flickered in disbelief. "Impossible. These primitives barely understand basic space travel. Show me." The holographic display revealed a massive energy signature emerging from Ceres, accompanied by thousands of smaller signatures suddenly appearing throughout the solar system. The humans' supposedly primitive satellites were transforming, quantum fields shimming into existence around them. In the Ceres command center, Admiral Chen received the message he'd been waiting for. "Sir, the Nexeri have detected our activation sequence. Their fleet is moving into defensive positions." "Right on schedule," Chen nodded. "Begin Phase 2. Let's show our visitors why humanity has survived every challenge we've ever faced." Throughout the solar system, humanity's true technological capabilities began to reveal themselves. The seemingly primitive International Space Station transformed, quantum shields flickering into existence as hidden weapons platforms emerged from its structure. Debris fields around Earth revealed themselves to be sophisticated defense platforms, their quantum signatures matching and exceeding those of the Nexeri vessels. But the real surprise was still coming. Deep within Ceres, in a chamber larger than any spacecraft the Nexeri had ever built, humanity's ultimate achievement was powering up. Project Prometheus, a vessel that represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity and determination, prepared for its first real combat deployment. Admiral Chen opened a channel to all Earth Defense Forces. "This is Admiral Chen. For 300 years, we've hidden our true capabilities, learning from every alien transmission we intercepted, preparing for this moment. The Nexeri think they're gods among the stars. Today, we show them that humanity has moved beyond the need for gods. In her command center, General Sarah Chen received the confirmation she'd been waiting for. Everything was proceeding according to plans laid down by generations of human leaders and scientists. They had known first contact was inevitable, but they had chosen to meet it on their terms, not as the primitive species the galaxy expected them to be. The Nexari were about to learn a lesson that countless others throughout human history had learned. Appearance and reality were often very different things, and underestimating humanity was always a costly mistake. The massive hangar doors within Ceres continued their slow opening sequence, revealing a vessel that defied conventional understanding of spacecraft design. The UES Prometheus emerged from its hidden berth, its hull seeming to bend light around it in impossible ways. Unlike the crystalline bioorganic ships of the Nexari, the Prometheus represented a different path of technological evolution, one born from humanity's unique approach to solving problems. The ship's quantum alloy hull absorbed and redirected energy in ways that made it appear almost liquid, its surface a constantly shifting pattern of darkness and stars. At 5 kilometers in length, it dwarfed even the Nexari flagship. But its size wasn't what made it revolutionary, it was what lay within. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the Prometheus's bridge, surrounded by displays showing real-time quantum calculations that would have driven most alien species mad trying to comprehend. "All stations, report readiness," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's hopes. "Engineering reports ready, Captain," her XO, Commander David Wu announced. "The fusion quantum core is stable at 98% efficiency. Dark matter containment fields are nominal." Rodriguez nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing the Nexari fleet's position. "Begin power-up sequence. Let's introduce ourselves properly." In orbit around Earth, High Admiral Vexera was facing a crisis unlike anything in her centuries of service. The quantum signatures emerging from throughout the solar system challenged everything the Nexari thought they knew about human technological capabilities. But worse was coming. "High Admiral." Commander Zill's voice carried an edge of panic she'd never heard before. "New contact emerging from the asteroid belt. The energy readings, they're beyond our scale of measurement." The Prometheus's emergence sent shockwaves through the quantum realm that the Nexari relied upon. Their sensors, designed to detect and analyze quantum phenomena, were overwhelmed by the complexity of the human vessel's quantum field manipulation. "Impossible," Vexera whispered, watching as her displays tried to make sense of what they were detecting. "How could they have hidden this? How could we have missed it?" The answer came in the form of a transmission, broadcast on the same frequencies the Nexari had used for their ultimatum. Captain Rodriguez's image appeared on every screen in the Nexari fleet. "High Admiral Vexera of the Nexari Empire, I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth ship Prometheus. You spoke of elevation and protection. Allow me to explain something about humanity. We don't need either. What you see before you is the result of centuries of preparation, not for conquest or domination, but for survival and understanding." The Prometheus moved with impossible grace for its size, its quantum drive systems making it appear to slide through space-time itself. As it approached, the Nexari sensors began to detect layers of technology that shouldn't have been possible for any primitive species to develop. "The quantum signatures," Zyle reported, his crystalline form flickering with agitation. "They're using principles we theorized but never managed to implement. Their dark matter containment technology alone is generations ahead of ours." Vexera's form pulsed with a mixture of fear and fascination. The humans hadn't just achieved quantum manipulation, they'd mastered it in ways the Nexari had never imagined. The Prometheus wasn't just a warship, it was a demonstration of an entirely different approach to physics and engineering. "Your empire has never known defeat, High Admiral," Rodriguez continued, "because you've never encountered a species that chose to hide its true capabilities. Humanity learned long ago that survival sometimes means letting others underestimate you. We've been watching, learning, and preparing while you conquered primitive worlds. Now, you have a choice to make. The Prometheus came to a stop between the Nexari fleet and Earth, its massive form eclipsing the planet behind it. Throughout the solar system, thousands of quantum defense platforms revealed themselves, creating a web of interlocking fields that could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. You can either retreat and return to your empire, with the knowledge that there are things in this galaxy beyond your understanding, Rodriguez said, her voice carrying both authority and compassion, or you can test your assumption of superiority against everything humanity has spent 3 centuries preparing. The choice is yours, but I suggest you choose wisely. In the silence that followed, both fleets hung motionless in space, the fate of 2 civilizations hanging in the balance. The Nexari had come expecting to find primitives ready for subjugation. Instead, they had found something far more dangerous, a species that had outthought them before they'd ever met. High Admiral Vexera stood motionless on her command deck, her crystalline form refracting light in patterns that betrayed her inner turmoil. Pride and tradition demanded she respond to this challenge with overwhelming force. 3 millennia of Nexari dominance couldn't be denied by these upstart humans, no matter how impressive their technology might be. All vessels, battle formations, she commanded, her voice carrying a sharp edge. Show these humans the full might of the Nexari Empire. The Nexari fleet moved with practiced precision, their bioorganic ships flowing into an attack pattern that had broken countless civilizations before. Energy began building in their quantum weapons, creating distortions in spacetime that would tear apart conventional matter. Aboard the Prometheus, Captain Rodriguez watched the enemy fleet's movements with calm determination. They're choosing pride over wisdom, she noted to Commander Wu. Just as the simulations predicted. All defense platforms are synchronized, Captain, Wu reported. The quantum web is ready, waiting for your command. Rodriguez took a deep breath, remembering all the generations of preparation that had led to this moment. Signal all ships and platforms. Execute Operation Gordian. What followed would be studied by military historians for centuries to come. As the Nexari fleet launched their attack, humanity revealed the true genius of their preparations. The thousands of defense platforms didn't just create defensive shields, they transformed space itself around the Nexari vessels. The quantum web activated, creating a complex geodesic pattern of intersecting fields that turned the very fabric of spacetime into a weapon. The Nexari's own quantum technology began working against them, their bioorganic ships struggling to maintain coherence as human-designed fields disrupted their molecular bonds. Impossible. Vexera watched in horror as her fleet's advanced weapons dissipated harmlessly against fields that shouldn't have existed. Their technology. It's not just matching ours, it's countering it perfectly. The Prometheus moved through the chaos like a dancer, its quantum alloy hull flowing and shifting to redirect enemy fire. Where the Nexari relied on raw power and overwhelming force, the human vessel demonstrated an elegance of design that spoke of deeper understanding. Their ships are largely automated, Rodriguez observed. They never considered that quantum fields could be used for precise manipulation rather than just brute force. Signal the defense platforms to begin Phase 2. The quantum web contracted, creating localized pockets of altered spacetime around each Nexari vessel. Their bioorganic technology, unable to adapt to the rapidly changing quantum states, began to fail. Ships lost power, weapon systems went dark, and the mighty Nexari fleet found itself trapped in a 3-dimensional chess game where all the rules had changed. High Admiral, Commander Zill's voice carried barely contained panic. We're losing quantum coherence across the fleet. Our ships can't maintain their structural integrity under these conditions. Vexera watched as her mighty flagship, the Celestial Dominion, began to lose its crystalline luster. The humans hadn't just prepared defenses, they had developed ways to turn the Nexari's greatest strengths into vulnerabilities. The Prometheus approached the failing Nexari flagship, its massive form now clearly visible through the quantum distortions. Captain Rodriguez opened a channel to Vexera's vessel. High Admiral, your fleet is disabled but not destroyed. We could have eliminated your ships the moment you arrived. But that's not our way. Humanity has learned through bitter experience that true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to know when not to. As if to emphasize her point, the quantum web began to stabilize, allowing the Nexari ships to regain basic functions while keeping them contained. The message was clear. Humanity could have destroyed them, but chose not to. You spoke of elevation when you arrived, Rodriguez continued, but you never considered that those you deemed primitive might have something to teach you. The question now is, are you willing to learn? In the silence that followed, Vexera faced a choice that would reshape the destiny of two civilizations. The humans had outmaneuvered, outfought, and outfought the mighty Nexari Empire. But more importantly, they had shown a level of restraint and wisdom that challenged everything the Nexari believed about power and superiority. In the aftermath of the battle, the Nexari fleet hung suspended in Earth's orbit, their once mighty ships now dim shadows of their former glory. High Admiral Vexera stood before a hastily convened emergency session of the United Earth Council, her crystalline form notably subdued. The great chamber deep beneath Geneva held representatives from every nation on Earth, along with the key military and scientific leaders who had orchestrated humanity's response. For 10,000 years, Vexera began, her voice carrying both humility and wonder. The Nexari Empire has traveled the stars, believing ourselves to be the pinnacle of evolution. Today, we learned otherwise. General Sarah Chen, now seated among the council members, watched the alien admiral carefully. The humans had won a decisive victory, but what came next would determine the future of both species. What we witnessed was not just superior technology, Vexera continued. It was superior thinking. While we focused on displaying our power, you focused on understanding the fundamental nature of reality. While we sought to dominate, you sought to comprehend. Captain Rodriguez, standing at parade rest near the chamber's entrance, allowed herself a small smile. The Prometheus had been returned to its birth within Ceres, its existence now a powerful symbol of humanity's true capabilities. The Nexari Empire stands at a crossroads, Vexera announced. We can either cling to our outdated beliefs of superiority, or we can embrace this opportunity to learn and grow. On behalf of the Empire, I propose not subjugation or elevation, but partnership. A murmur ran through the assembled council. Admiral James Chen stepped forward. Partnership. Just days ago, you came to conquer us. And in doing so, we discovered something far more valuable than another conquered world. Vexera responded. We found equals who could teach us new ways of thinking. Your quantum manipulation techniques alone could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. Council President Maria Santos rose from her seat. And what guarantees do we have that the Empire won't simply return with a larger fleet once they've analyzed our technology? Vexera's form pulsed with what humans were learning to recognize as amusement. You misunderstand, Madam President. We couldn't return with a larger fleet even if we wanted to. What you've shown us today represents technological principles we never even considered possible. The Empire's entire military doctrine is based on assumptions your existence has proven wrong. The council chambers fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just defeated a Nexari fleet, they had fundamentally challenged the Empire's understanding of physics and technology. We propose an exchange, Vexera continued, not of submission for protection, but of knowledge for knowledge. The Empire has explored thousands of worlds, accumulated vast databases of scientific knowledge. We offer this in exchange for the opportunity to learn your approach to quantum mechanics and engineering. President Santos looked to General Chen, who gave a subtle nod. They had prepared for many possible outcomes, but this one offered the most intriguing possibilities. The Council will need time to deliberate, Santos announced, but I believe we can find common ground for cooperation. In the months that followed, the relationship between Earth and the Nexari Empire transformed the political landscape of the galaxy. The Empire's admission that they had encountered a civilization more advanced in some ways than themselves sent shockwaves through their subject worlds. Many sought independence, while others began their own scientific pursuits, inspired by humanity's example. Earth established its first embassy on the Nexari homeworld, with Captain Rodriguez serving as the first ambassador. The Prometheus remained a closely guarded secret, but humanity shared enough of their technological insights to demonstrate that power didn't have to come at the cost of wisdom. Admiral Vexera, who chose to remain on Earth as the Empire's representative, often found herself in long discussions with human scientists and philosophers. The greatest lesson we learned, she would later write in her memoirs, was not about technology at all. It was about the danger of believing you've reached the pinnacle of achievement. The humans reminded us that true advancement comes not from dominating others, but from remaining humble enough to learn from them. As Earth and the Nexari began their new partnership, both civilizations found themselves growing in unexpected ways. The humans gained access to the vast knowledge accumulated by the Empire, while the Nexari learned new ways of thinking about the universe and their place in it. Perhaps most importantly, the galaxy learned a crucial lesson. True power lies not in the ability to demonstrate strength, but in the wisdom to know when and how to use it. Humanity had proven themselves not just equal to the mighty Nexari Empire, but in many ways, their teachers in the art of civilizational advancement.